Hey guys, it's Angel. Welcome back to the channel. Now I want to start this video by explaining that this is not political. I'm not going to make it political, and I would prefer if we kept politics out of the comments. I'm flying in Ukraine today not because of what's going on, but because Flightsim gives us this worldwide opportunity to visit places we've never flown before, and it is a truly beautiful country. Absolutely beautiful. And one thing Flightsim also gives us is the opportunity to see somewhere before something bad happened to it. Something terrible, no matter what side you're on. The fact is, we get to view this country as it should be. A thing of beauty, a thing to be enjoyed. Just like any country in the world. As the last I'll speak on the subject, I would again ask we keep politics out of the comments. Let's go. So, today, we are down at, and I'm going to butcher a lot of names during this video, I will tell you that now. So, we are at Velka, that's almost Finnish pronunciation there. Velka Lepetkia Airport. I'll be including links to these airports in the description, of course. Now, it's a small little GA field in kind of the center of Ukraine. We are in the Kherson Oblast, just about. We'll be passing over the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast into Zaporozhye Oblast, I believe it is, towards the end of this, but either way. We'll be heading up towards Kyslishkyvyata. Again, I'm going to butcher these, and I'll include these all in the description, of course. Tiny little airfield here, 1,400 feet of paved runway. Got a little barn, a truck, there's a little gatehouse over here. And it is a stunning little place. There's even a gas station there along the main route that leads down here, with some vehicles using it. So it's this beautiful little countryside, almost just a field with a runway. Now we're using Coronado's Bonanza because I really like this one. It's one of my favourite ones they've released yet, even as a, you know, what is it, local legend, famous flyer, whatever you want to go for with this. It's a great plane, and yeah, I get to have my custom pilot, which is even nicer. Now, without further ado, let's get ourselves rocking and rolling for this one today. Where's my fuel? There's my fuel. Okay. We are good. Pop open our side window there. We'll get our head switched on here. Now, our flight should take us roughly kind of northeast as we fly here. We'll be heading over the river to our left. Once we take off, is going to be the Dnipro River. I believe that's the one. Yeah. Either way, it's the one that runs through Kherson to the south of us. And we'll be heading north past the Zaporozhye power plant and the large inland lake there just to the north of it. So let's get ourselves ready to rock and roll here, shall we? Everything looks ready there. Parking brake is set, confirmed. Fuel pump's on. Do I have fuel pressure? Fuel flow is static and steady. Okay. We're good there. Gear is confirmed down and locked. Flaps are currently set to up. Fuel tank is... Let me just see if there's a viewpoint for this. So I always find it so hard to get down and see some of those angles. Oh, that's an angle, definitely. We'll use left main. There we go. Let's reset ourselves up here. We should be good to start. So, crack the throttle. Mags are in. Okay, there we go. I always never find it very easy to find the click spots in somebody's aircraft. Okay, parking brake is released. Let's put our yoke back on here. Turn our boost pumps on, off after we get airborne here. Let's get a little bit of power to get us moving. There we go. Stage 1 of flaps. We'll need it on 1,400 feet. Door is locked and latched. Oh, there we go. A little bit of twisty run little taxiway of sorts here. It's more of a path that leads to the end of the runway. But I like this because it's not a straight line. It's not some lovely ordered taxiway. There's a little parking area over there. And otherwise we have this lovely little winding pathway. And all airports should have winding pathways to their runways. I absolutely believe that should be the case. Okay. No, on the grass a little bit there. Now, the town to our, should we say, west of us when we take off will be Velika Lepikia. Lepetkia. Again, I'm so sorry. And I know there's one viewer in particular who will be cringing at every pronunciation here, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets. If someone pronounces something for me, I can say it. Otherwise, I will struggle. Okay. Let's go. Should have plenty of room here. Airspeed's alive. A little bit of a hump here in the runway. 60 knots. Got rudder control. Pull the nose back. And we are up. And climbing. We're heading south here, so we'll follow our runway heading here, and then we'll come around to our right. So let's knock the boost pumps off there, and we are airborne. Get some trim in here to keep us a little bit more steady. You are going to occasionally see me refer to my cell phone here and tablet, so I will be occasionally looking down. I do apologise ahead of time. Where is it? There we go. Keep myself looking up here. Trying to type and fly. Yeah, it's the Dnipro River. There we go. No, I was correct there. Okay, let's bring ourselves around here. What is that lake? I need to find out. It's probably described here. The Dnieper, or Dnipro, one of the major transboundary rivers in Europe, rising in the Valdai Hills near Smolensk, Russia, before flowing through Belarus and Ukraine to the Black Sea. So that is the one we're heading over right now, I believe. Yes, it will be. Fourth longest river in Europe after the Volga and the Danube and Ural rivers. So there you go. Now I'm trying to work out what the lake's called here that's attached to it. This is the town I mentioned down here below us. We'll be flying up along the edge of the bank here before we cross over and head over a few other areas here. So I'll be describing some locations as we go over them, more at least attempting their names. There's that little airport down there. It's a gorgeous little spot in beautiful farming country here. Could be the Midwest, couldn't it? Could absolutely be the Midwest and middle of farming country America. For those who don't know, Ukraine does actually provide a significantly huge portion of grain and cereals crops around the world. Things like vegetable oil as well. Significant crops. Right. What does it go through here? I am so stupid trying to read things at the same time. You know what, I'm just going to turn my head tracking off for a second whilst I do this. Lake Ukraine, Dnipro. Ukraine's largest lake. The Yalpa. Okay, cool. It's in the Odessa Oblast. No, this doesn't feel right. Is that correct? I'm probably wrong here. Yeah, no, that is incorrect. A bit of cloud cover here as we head northbound. But we are roughly on track here. We'll be crossing over this little bay to our front here. I should have prepared this. I prepared so much, but not that. I try to prepare things. And there's always something that kind of throws me off when I'm trying to find it. Where are we? No, I don't think that is the largest lake. Although it could be. It feels like it is. Although the one... Yeah, I'm always going to get this wrong. But we're not in the Odessa Oblast. That's off to our west. Let's get my head turned back on here. Huge, huge river feeding out of the lake to our north here. Just up ahead of us, we'll be heading across, and I'm going to butcher this too, Perov Maikva, which should be just down below us as we arrive at this little inlet to our 12 o'clock. Then we'll be heading over on the far coast, Berezyanka, and then over towards Nikopol, which should be on the far bank here of the lake, and then over towards, and this one's a gotcha, Pridniesprovke. There we go. I know there is, I you know what? I think I'm mostly doing this because of one particular subscriber of mine who is Ukrainian. If there are others, wonderful. But one particular subscriber of mine who I know is going to be offended by these attempts at pronunciation. Maybe not offended, maybe kind of impressed, or at least not cringing too hard, I think is probably the best description here. But for those of you who haven't seen him in the comments, Operator Starsky is a Ukrainian YouTuber. He was part of the Ukrainian military, and he does a lot of vlogging over on his channel. He's incredibly popular over there and around the world. If you're interested in information, go check him out. He's been doing some skits recently which have been pretty hilarious. Complete comedy parody stuff, but in general, very, very funny guy and very interesting perspective on things, so worth checking out. So, Starsky, I am so sorry for these pronunciations, but you know what? I've been umming and ahhing with the idea of doing a video here, and we've got a lot of farmland till we get a little bit further up here. Now, we will be maybe able to see the Zaporizhzhia power plant off to our right, the one that's been in the news so much recently. Hopefully we'll get to see that one. There's the town in front of us. That's Permovivka? There we go. It's closer, probably. Permovivka, off to our north there. But I've been toying with the idea of doing a video flying in Ukraine for some time. And yeah, I won't lie. The news since February has somewhat piqued my interest in the country and raised my awareness of the country. I can quite honestly say there were only a handful of Ukrainian city names and locations I really knew before February, and I feel ashamed about that. As someone who considers themselves a citizen of the world, it's a country that I knew about, I knew of its history, and I never really had much chance to really look at it. I've done quite a few flights across the country over the last while, but I always avoided doing it on YouTube because I didn't want to get involved. But you know what? As a planet, we are involved. And if anything, Flightsim gives us a rare opportunity. Let's not go through that, actually. Flightsim gives us a rare opportunity to visit parts of the world we might not otherwise. It gives us an opportunity to see places we haven't seen before, in a perspective we haven't seen before. Because I can guarantee you, there aren't any aeroplanes flying at this altitude right now, here. Not a chance. They're down there. It's just not possible. So it gives us an opportunity to see a place from a very different perspective. And I will always say that from the air is one of the... I've still got flaps down. I've been talking too much, and I still have flaps in. Gosh darn it. At least I wasn't going too fast. Let's pull those back here. I've been talking so much I haven't configured myself for cruise here. Coming around the cloud. Another beautiful lake down here. But no, like I said, it's been one of those situations where it gives us a rare opportunity to really see the world from a different angle. And it's an important one. We should really do this because we have this tool at our fingertips that allows us this beautiful opportunity to see other places and to really explore the world. Because so many flight simmers, they just fly in their own back garden. It's all about just going from A to B. And that's boring, honestly. Absolutely boring. Because why would you? You know, it's such a tragedy to only fly in the Pacific Northwest, or only fly in the UK, or Germany, or France. I'll admit, in FSX and P3D, I flew mostly in British Columbia and Southern Alaska because of Orbex's scenery. A little bit in the UK, but I fly in the UK. I know what it looks like. And back then, it didn't look that great in the sim. So it's one of those things of really, we have an opportunity that we should absolutely take advantage of, because without it, we're really, really narrowing our minds. I could just go bush flying in Idaho, British Columbia, and I'd be happy. But I'd miss the opportunity for Mexico and South America and other locations to really enjoy the world. And it is a beautiful thing to do. That is definitely not the one I was looking for. Then I am desperate to find the name of this body of water. I am so annoyed that I don't actually know which it is. Trying to find which one it is. I'm so annoyed. Because it's something I should have researched before I flew. But there you go, I didn't. Sumy Oblast, not that one. The Danube Basin, not that one. That is definitely not the one. Now, the power plant should be up ahead of us, actually, on the end of the visible ground just there. That's where we're looking. We can take a slight detour, actually, and fly over that direction. I don't have the scenery installed for it. There is scenery available. I do not have it. But I really should, at some point, find that for you guys. Oh my god, there's a map. I should have just used maps. That's the simplest option in the entire whole bloody case. And I didn't do it. Well, it's the Dnieper River. We know that much. But it doesn't actually have... Why is there no name marked on it? Someone tell me, please. Let's put my head back on and actually fly the darn plane here rather than worrying about looking at Google. Can you tell I barely prepare? I'm awful for it. I prepare my winds and my weather data. I prepare locations where I'm going to be flying over. We've flown just past Bozyanka right now. And that should be Nikopol on the far bank over here. Where are we? Yes, this will be Nikopol just ahead of us. And right over there is going to be, just to our 2 o'clock, Zaporizhzhia power plant, which is Europe's biggest nuclear power plant. Yeah, the biggest in Europe. That's huge. 6 reactors. Now, of course, far more modern than what is the most famous power plant in Europe, of course, that being Chernobyl in the northern part of Ukraine. Now, Chernobyl used RBMK Soviet reactors. Those were terrible technology. Graphite-tipped fuel rods. Another really dumb idea, but there you go. Soviet technology was very crude in that regard compared to Western technology, and it produced something that was literally a ticking boom boom. Unfortunately, but yeah, you'll start to see the basins and other parts of the installation over there. That is the power plant area here. In fact, there's mostly power plant and industrial parts all around it, so you can see why it's pretty hard for mistaken, let's call them danger rocks, to land in that area, right? Yeah, it's not like you're aiming for here and your danger rocks land over there. Yeah? Danger pebbles. No, they're smaller. Danger boulders. Let's call them danger boulders. Yeah. Because YouTube's going to kill me if I, say the wrong thing. So your danger boulders will... If they're landing around there, they're not intended for here or here. You're just making it up at that point. But there you go. Unless it happens to be an American-developed danger boulder, at which point they go exactly where you tell them. But no, this will be Nikopol, just below us now. Larger city. In fact, we'll descend a little bit here. Get a better view of what we're seeing. And we shouldn't be too much further across to where we're heading to. Now, the timing on our flight map here is not updating for me for some reason, so it's saying 30 minutes, which it's definitely not, because it's pulling the time to climb routine again, which I'm surprised it's taken 10 sim updates for them to fix, really. Yeah, let's get a little bit lower, considerably lower here. Yes, 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 my gear's not down, I don't care. Be quiet. I want to get a better look at the town, or the city down below us. Seems to be pretty clear sky ahead of us, no major cloud formations to deal with. Got the ports down there and marinas. A beautiful lakefront city. I will find this out. I am desperate to find this out. There we go. I'm going to look out the window here. Huh. Pretty nice. Let's see what it is called. Yeah, that's Nikopol here. And just above us will be... I will find the name for that one in a second. Mahanets, I believe it might be. I could be wrong. And it's Tomakovica, just to the north of that. We'll be arriving at in just a moment. Like, I love how it names the river, but it never names the lake. Every lake body of water has a name attached to it. There always is. Appears to be a river section down there through the city itself. You can see it curving down below us there, below the wing. Maybe it's a rail line. Actually, no, it's more likely to be a rail line. We'll go with that. Oh, more coastal settlements ahead of us. So I'm just going to completely ignore what our GPS is telling us in terms of data. I just wish they could actually make that function. It doesn't seem like a very complicated system whereby it just does not log your time to climb marker. Why? Such an annoying feature. But no, like I said, despite relative anonymity since, of course, the terrible events of the 80s and the fall of the Soviet Union, Ukraine has boomed agriculturally, and it's been a huge, huge part of their national GDP, which I don't think a lot of people really realised before February, just what an impact this country has on the world. And it does, because food is something that, of course, affects us all. And without food, we're in serious trouble. Especially basic, you know, cereal crops, which are the staple of the planet. So it's a major deal, really. Okay, we'll swing a little north here to work out where I'm actually meant to be going again. I believe we have some airspace just to our north here we need to watch out about. Yeah, there's some airspace just to our right. We should be good here, though. I believe it's an airbase. Might be Alexandrovika, I think it is, in fact. Or it could be. I don't quite see the area from where we are, but Alexandrovika should be in that direction, so that's most likely what that will be. In fact, you know what? I'm going to reprogram this just so it's not annoying me any further, because right now it is annoying me significantly, and I hate it when it does this. I tend to tune it out mentally these days because it's so annoying. You... no, die. Don't fall for this again. I keep falling for that routine. F, G, H, I, J, K. 7. 1. That's the one we wanted. Bingo. 8 minutes. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for here. We'll descend a little bit below this cloud. We don't want to be dealing with that right now. Actually powered down quite a bit here, so let's drop below the cloud cover. Turn my head back on. So just below this here, about 2,500 should do. Below the ceiling. Watch our power settings. Oh, hello. Don't get too trim happy on me. Never try to trim for pitch and then then change your airspeed power. Because guess what? The more power, the more airspeed you have, the more the wings want to lift you. So you'll need less trim, not more. Okay, let's knock that back here to about 23. Make it 23 square, just about. There we go, nice and happy. More lakes down below us here. There's a lot of artificial lakes and reservoirs in Ukraine. Again, with it being such an agricultural centre, water's so important. So you'll often find a lot of reservoirs and man-made lakes dotting the whole country. Just because of the necessity... I'm stroking out. The necessity of water. So water and irrigation, hugely, hugely important. And that'll be one down there below us. You can often tell man-made water features because there'll be one flat end. Everything else will look really natural along the borders. Then you'll see one flat bit where it's been dammed. Okay, so 12 miles out here from... Can we pronounce it properly before we arrive? Kyslchuvata. Kyslchuvata. Kyslchuvata? Kyslchuvata? Close enough, right? Yeah, we'll go with that. Close enough. If you have a language and pronunciation tick, do not watch this. I'm really bad at it. A lot of languages I can grasp relatively well. The Slavic languages are one I struggle with in terms of pronunciation often, and the letter soup that they can sometimes become. Especially in English, because that's one of the things, there's no real translations in many cases. And the anglicisation of the names doesn't often work properly. Swing around the clouds here. A little bit east of track right now. Should take us right between these two. And we should be looking for our airport up ahead of us. It's under 10 miles now. We're going to have runway 32 and 14 here. Winds are 4 knots right now from 270, so we'll be looking at runway 32. So I'll have to see what we're looking at once we get here. So we should be arriving on the downwind. We'll be taking a right-hand turn into left traffic. That should do us just nicely, once we find it, that is. Or we'll overfly the airfield, go crosswind, and then join the left downwind. I must say, the Bonanza from Coronado, it's not the most accurate Bonanza we've ever had, but I love the Bonanza, so it's really nice to be able to fly this. And it's good on performance, it's an enjoyable aircraft to fly, so it doesn't concern me too much. And I must say, in all the flying I've done in Ukraine, it's such a peaceful place to fly. There are more mountainous regions, but seeing all the towns and cities, the settlements, the agriculture, the lakes, so many lakes, and seeing just a whole different country that I'm used to, it's exhilarating. It's really enjoyable because it's new, and I really do love that about this simulator, for every fault you could find for it. And yeah, it has many. It has many. The one fault it does not have is the ability for us to explore the world. I only just realised today that Flightsim.to has a world map function, just like the marketplace in Sim. Those are fantastic. Pick a place on the map and find some airports and go. It's phenomenally useful, because it gives us that chance to really see something different. And one of the things I find so different is a lot of the way that places are laid out in Ukraine and other Slavic nations, whether it's the architecture, whether it's the way roads and settlements are placed and located, it really does feel so very different to what I'm used to. Okay, so Kislichavata should be up ahead of us here. Or Hislichavata? K's tend to end up being H's. Kherson, Kharkiv. Hislichavaka? That might be the closest I've made it yet. Okay, so airfield should be off to our left-hand side here. Let's start getting a look out for it. Is that it over there? That's looking exactly like it, because on a heading of 3-2, that will be our runway. Yep, that says it right over there. Wonderful. Okay, let's drop her down here. Lose some of this airspeed. Nope, don't whine at me. I'll give you more power. Be quiet. Blasted aeroplane. Okay. God, I love these. Just another reservoir down there. The road across the flat bit is a good giveaway. More agricultural water storage. The one over there. So here's our airport. We'll be coming in from this direction, so we're going to go upwind for 3-2, crosswind, downwind, base to final. So I need to actually spread out. Actually, I can stay here because I don't need to be too correctly spaced right now. I'm not even going to make the radio traffic, because I would make a butcher's arse of this. Oh, go on. Hislichavata traffic, uniform Romeo, Alpha November, Golf Lima, joining the right upwind, runway 32 to land. I can't use the actual ICO because it doesn't actually have that ICO. These are just given to it for the sim. So let's pop the gear down. Now we have 1,312 feet of runway here. It's a tiny little field. Probably for agricultural purposes, to be brutally honest. Crop dusting, that sort of thing. Okay. Let's bring ourselves down here. Power off to idle. This looks Hislichavata traffic, uniform Romeo, Alpha, November, Golf Lima. I changed my tail number. Turning right crosswind, or left crosswind, runway 32. This is going to be pretty short for a Bonanza, so we're going to have to be on our toes for this one. Yeah, this is dinky. This is really dinky. It's going to be about a 2-knot crosswind component given our heading and the wind, so it's not terrible. Not great, not terrible. Okay. Hislichavata traffic, November Golf Lima, turning left downwind, runway 32 to land. Okay, we can work with this. We can work with this. I won't put my final stage of flaps in until we come round onto base at least. It's going to be a tight base turn. I'll need to extend this one a little bit here. No, we're actually going to be alright. It's a little shorter than I'd like it to be, but we'll make it work. Okay. Sludge about the traffic. Remember Golf Lima turning left base runway 32. Give that stage of flaps in now. Dump some airspeed here as we turn. This field's hedgerow will be a good marker for us. So just past where the crops change colour. Or halfway between that and the copse, just on the far side. A little bit low actually here. This is Gibraltar traffic. Remember Golf Lima turning final to land runway 32. No, you know what? This is just right. Roller in onto final. Little bit of trim. Not too much. Let's get that rudder pedal out of the equation here. Ground kind of rises up just before the runway. I didn't see that till I was right here. And this is rather short, so I need to be as slow as I can be here. There we go. Flaps up. Give myself a bit of bite. Oh my god, get that annoying pump turned off. There we go. Nicely done. Let's get ourselves taxied over here to the parking area. It's not a particularly crazy airport add-on, you know, you've got a few bits and pieces here, but I appreciate any scenery I get for an airport because the default is better than FSX and P3D, but it's certainly not wonderful. We'll take a little look though once we've landed. There we go. We'll park up here. There we go. Turn my head off while I grab my controller so we can actually fly properly. How do I roll the camera? That's how I roll the camera. Oh, so there's a much better place to park over here. Ah, a little hangar. Appears to be a small building of some kind. Not quite sure what this is. Oh. Maintenance shed, maybe? Possibly a flight school or kind of office building or clubhouse building. It looks agricultural flying club related. A fuel truck, probably a bit too big for this location. One small hangar. A couple of porter cabins. Another kind of prefab style building. But you know what? It's got a good little vibe. Tiny little runway. You really have to be kind of aware of this one to land. 1,300 feet is not nothing, but it's definitely not plenty of something. You have to land deliberately at a place like this. A lot of people that fly out of 3, 4, 5,000 foot runways, they can land wherever they want to. Here, you're putting it on at the threshold and you're making sure it sticks. Because if you mess around, you're off the other end. And yeah, okay, it's flat grass, but at the same time, you don't want to make that mistake, do you? Anyway, enough waffling from me. Hopefully you enjoyed a non-partisan, should we say, peaceful visit to this country of the world. I want to visit many more interesting places around the world and tell you something about them, at least something. I'll never know everything, and that's part of why I love to find out more. Because to me, the world is our oyster. Flightsim is a screwdriver to jam in that oyster, prise it open, and have a great big look around for a pearl. Because we get to see places we could never afford to go to, can't go to, or might never be able to see. Hey, it might even give you holiday ideas. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.